Hi traders, welcome to this FXDD video. Thanks for joining. My name is Chris from Elite Currency. Unfortunately, we were supposed to have a live webinar, but I had some technical problems. So I'm doing this video recording instead, and it will be uploaded to the YouTube channel of FXDD. Now, before we start, please be aware of this risk disclaimer explaining the fact that trading for exchange and global financial markets is considered high risk and may not be suitable for everyone. Please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that. And this video is for informational and educational purposes only. All right. Before we look at the markets, wanted to let you know about these two links. That's where we have the live trading webinars. Today we're a little bit unlucky with that live webinar event, but usually everything goes well in 99% of the cases, and here is where you can find live trading webinars. At the top link, at the bottom link, you will find live educational webinars from Nennet and myself. And of course, we recommend the FXDD YouTube channel, where we both add regular videos with analysis. All right, traders. So this is the euro dollar 4-hour chart. Price is moving up after bouncing and then breaking above the resistance and breaking above the 21 EMA and the 144 EMA and making a bullish breakout, plus the weekly pivot point, making a bullish breakout to the upside. R1 is providing some resistance here at 113 at the moment. But if price breaks above that, I think the next target would be 113.60, maybe up to 114. I think for the moment, considering this momentum, in my view, the euro dollar is going up and continuing upwards. However, that said, the R1 could easily be a spot where price makes some kind of correction, some kind of bear flag or triangle pattern, in my view, like this. And a break of that is something that I'm looking for a bullish breakout to the upside and a continuation higher. As I said, for me, the main target is 113.50-ish, then 114, and then 115-ish zone. When looking at the lower time frames, I think that this momentum is typical for wave 3. So wave 4, that goes back to the 21 EMA, bounces, and wave 5 is what I'm expecting on the euro dollar. From a higher time frame perspective, it's going to be very interesting to see if we get that upside. So far, this looks like a bullish correction. This looked like a bearish correction. Now expecting a bullish correction back to about this 115 zone, which could be a turning spot after fulfilling and completing a ABC, for instance. So from this perspective, if price does manage to break above the 144 EMA for the second time, the number 1, 2, 3, 4 attempts failed. We recently had a fifth attempt, but this is kind of like the second attempt within that fifth attempt, so it's like 5.2 if you look at it from a system point of view, upgrade point of view, let's say, just for the fun. So yes, this is the, let's say, fifth or sixth attempt to break above the 144 EMA. If that succeeds after the double and triple bottom, depending on how you count it, then, and the break of the falling wedge, I do think that there's enough kind of confluence to say that a bigger correction, a bigger bullish correction is becoming slowly but surely more likely. All right, that's the euro dollar. Pound dollar. Ooh, there's a lot of lines on that. Let me clean it up for you. And let's just take a look at some moving averages here. This is the pound dollar 4-hour chart. And it's funny because we had a very strong crash. That is something we expected, break of the bear flag. And this is how you can see how those patterns help with your trading, right? If you don't see that pattern, you don't know that it's bearish. If you don't see these moving averages, you don't know that the moving averages are aligned to the downside, and that if price breaks below the 21 EMA, you have everything pointing south. You have price below 21 EMA, which is below the 144, and everything is aligned to the downside nicely. So by using these concepts, momentum, correction, moving averages, break below the 21 EMA, this move was very, very clear to me that we're going to get a push lower, at least to the previous bottom, if not down to 125 and maybe 124. We got the first two targets. We didn't get down to the third target. And instead, we bounced off 125, and price made a pretty sharp rally to the upside, a V valley, right? Why V? Because it looks like a V. Here down, here up. Does that look like a V? Yes. So that's a V valley reversal. Now we do have, if we zoom in, bearish engulfing twins here. Candlestick pattern at the 144 EMA and the R1 pivot point. So if we get a bounce there, you know, we're looking for some kind of retracement at least to the 21 EMA for the moment. Now, considering this strong momentum, I wouldn't be surprised if price moves lower, but slowly and correctively, and makes some kind of choppy move down like this, and actually bounces again up as part of maybe a bigger correction. This could be wave A, down for B, and up for C, is, in my view, the most likely. So I'm expecting price to move lower, to test these fibs, but not break this bottom and not go lower for a full downtrend continuation. That's my view. Now, I'm not 100% sure that this is the bouncing spot necessarily, but it certainly had some reaction already at 127.25. Price did move about 50 pips away from that area. And what we're looking for now is, or at least I'm looking to see how price responds. But we still have a very good upside momentum here. So if it responds with a bull flag, then a continuation higher towards 127.50 is likely in my view. If price moves with a lot of momentum to the downside, then moves up like this, then a zigzag is more likely. A more aggressive move down becomes more likely. All right, but in both cases, I think eventually, I don't expect the downtrend to continue necessarily very soon. Of course, I should definitely add that all of these pound price movements are heavily influenced by Brexit news, UK politics, Bank of England. All of that is very, causes a lot of uncertainty, and it's impacting the pound, making it very volatile and not as technical, perhaps. Just my gut feeling about that, at least. That's including the pound dollar, but is valid for all Great British pound pairs. So we got to be careful about that. All right, dollar yen looks like a good breakout. We had also a bear flag. Look how useful that information is. Price below the 21 EMA, retracement, continuation, flag, break below, and continuation. Now, we did have a couple of early breakouts. So losses as price makes a false break, certainly possible. Depends where I place the stop loss. If I put it up in here, I'm safe. If I put it up and down in here, that's the loss. If I wait for a clear break below key support line at 108.10, I only entered here, right? Now, in my case, I unfortunately missed that trade with the red arrow. I was taking some night rest. So yeah, that's part of trading. You don't want to manage everything and catch everything. You want to create a trading method where you count on the fact that you sometimes miss opportunities that fit within your method. And this was one of them. I missed that one. But if price does, for whatever reason, get up to 108-ish, I would consider taking a short setup and might consider looking for a move down to 107 as the downtrend continues. But keep in mind that all of this downtrend, I think, could be just part of a correction. And ultimately, price will, might make that bounce and reversal back to the upside. And that's based all on the fact that we had a double bottom here. This could be a push up, hook back, for more upside. That's my main analysis at the moment. That said, I'm not trading the upside unless I see clear candlestick patterns on a weekly chart, maybe daily chart. For the moment, momentum and the trend are down. So if we get a slight pullback, I might consider trading a continuation to the downside. Pound yen, not interested at the moment. To be honest, it hit a very large 135.50 extended fib target. So it's quite extended, very strong downtrend. I love trading with the trend, but one thing you want to be careful of is that the trend could get extended and then price can slow down, become corrective and choppy, make lengthy corrections. And I think that we've reached a spot where I want to be careful. And if price manages to make a bigger correction, hit the 144 EMA, hit this previous top, and then start to move down, I would think about trading continuation lower. Now, I just believe it's too soon for a downtrend continuation at this point. All right, Euro Yen. Let's see. I'm using a different profile than usual, so I'm That's why you're seeing me change these templates. But Euro Yen, a tricky one in my view as well. It's right at the previous bottom, like at that. And here too, strung up, strung down. It remains unclear. I'm not a big fan of the Euro Yen at this point, nor the pound yen. I just don't see any trading opportunities. I know that these pairs tend to move a lot, and of course it's nice to trade them if you catch the right side, and therefore they're always good pairs to analyze and keep an eye on. But I just don't see anything interesting at this point. So yeah, at this moment, I'm just going to skip this, but and look on to maybe the euro pound. Well, at this moment, I think that euro and pound are looking for continuation higher, but we are getting some retracement at this point, and we had a pretty strong downside. So I expect a little bit more correction. But if that correction finishes like this, so maybe some falling wedge down to the 144 EMA, I would be interested in trading it as higher as a continuation. All right. A lot of dollar weakness at the moment, as you can see. Moving averages were aligned, break below the 21 EMA indicated that, and look at this trend continuation on the dollar Swissie. But this trend is already on its way. Same for dollar CAD. So those are not that interesting for me. New Zealand dollar is reversing. We're getting a lot of counter trend trades here on New Zealand and the Aussie, and we're getting strong moves to the dollar weakness side of the dollar Swiss and dollar CAD. But those movements have already been made. So it's a little bit tricky at this point. A lot of price movement has already taken place, as you can see. So that makes it a little bit difficult from my perspective, to find setups at this point. I do think that Kiwi and Australian dollar could continue lower again, actually, if we get that dollar strength. Of course, at the moment, we're seeing a lot of dollar weakness. Yesterday, we had the FOMC statement on the 19th of June. And, well, that was not necessarily that bullish for the dollar, as you can see. There's a lot of dollar weakness since that news event has happened. And that's creating dollar weakness. And we're seeing reversals on the pairs that had dollar strength trends. We're seeing dollar weakness accelerations where there was alignment on the dollar weakness with such as dollar CAD and dollar Swissie. And Kiwi Aussie are making retracements. Now, that could change. The sentiment could change. For the moment, we are seeing dollar weakness. But for instance, if price re-breaks below the 21 EMA on the Aussie dollar 4-hour chart, I think that could be with the trend continuation in my view. That is what I'm waiting for on the Australian dollar, at least for the moment. I know I'm cautious with the pound dollar and the euro dollar to trade it to the downside. Actually, euro dollar, I'm bullish at this moment. Pound dollar, I am, let's say, more neutral. But Aussie dollar could be one of those few pairs where I think dollar strength could make sense if it breaks below the 21 EMA zone. So that's something I'm keeping an eye on. All right, so that's the dollar so far. We still have some time left to take a look at other currencies. But to wrap it up, not interested in pound yen or euro yen. I need to see a correction on the dollar yen to 108. Could be interested in that. Pound dollar, need to see some patterns on the hourly chart first, and euro dollar too. But with the euro dollar specifically, if I see a bull flag, I think a bullish breakout would be interesting. All right, moving on to the euro odd. Euro odd is not moving up as yet. The breakout is a little bit weak so far. And yeah, could be running into bigger resistance. I like the breakout so far. Of course, yes, there is some resistance there. We had a strong candle, but ultimately, I think that, this could have been some kind of breakout situation here. If price can, place a close maybe above this 163.50. So far, it's not breaking to the upside. It broke up, but it seems to be a false break, to be very precise. Right? at this moment at least. And because it's moving down again, it's starting to look like a bear flag. So for the moment, a move down seems to be more likely. And there could be some ABC correction down to the 144 EMA, which could be a bouncing spot. That's what I think for the moment. Euro, New Zealand is also more or less doing the same, but it has already reached the 144 EMA. So I think if price makes a retracement like that, I'll be looking for a continuation lower for the moment. Pound odd and pound New Zealand could be ready for breakouts, specifically this pound New Zealand. Let me redo this template for you. There we go. Sorry about that. I have the wrong profile, but that was because of the login problems I had with the website, unfortunately, for the software that we're using, the webinar software. So I didn't have time to choose the right profile. But basically, looks like a triangle. I think there's a fair chance that this triangle will break to the downside. We got price below the 20 EMA, and that's below the 144 EMA. So although I'm bullish, or slightly bullish on the euro odd, I think pound New Zealand is looking good for downside for the moment. All right, if we get the breakout. Otherwise, Bitcoin continues after bouncing on the 21 EMA, looking bullish, aiming probably for 10K for the moment, S&P 500. Also aiming for 3,000 after an ABC correction here. Looks like we're back in an uptrend. And the DAX, last but not least, there we go. Also looks ready for an uptrend continuation. After making a bull flag here, looking for, or has already made a continuation higher, as you can see. And I think that there's a fair chance of continuation to the upside. If we get another weekly candle that closes like this, I think flag and continuations are the most likely on this DAX as well. All right, folks. So that was a quick look at some other indices, some stock indices, some cryptos, and of course, commodity gold. If I look at the market at this moment, I think pound New Zealand is maybe one of my favorites at this point for downside if we get this breakout. And I think that that might be the setup that this arrives the soonest for my trading at least. But let's see. Confirmation pending. And let's see if we get that. Dollar yen could be another one. 108 is the area I'm looking for. And maybe the euro dollar. Once again, if it breaks above the R1, I am interested in trading it as a continuation higher. And could be, if I get this breakout, 113.50 is not the target. I will be aiming for 114 or maybe 115. Let me put a fib. Yeah, probably. I'm not 100% sure. I think it could be, depends a little bit on what type of break we get, which I don't know. So that's why I don't know. It depends on the breakout, how the candle breaks the R1. But I would, yeah, it's one of those two in any case, in my view. So that's also very interesting. So I guess that's my top three for the moment. The dollar yen downside, euro dollar upside, and the pound New Zealand downside. I was interested in the euro odd upside as well, but really this bearish price action is making it less interesting. If we get a break again above 163.50, 163.60, I would add the euro odd to my list. Maybe on a fifth place could be the Australian dollar. If it breaks below the 20 EMA, that could be another interesting trading idea, I think, as well. So that maybe I can add it to that list. But otherwise, that's about it. Once again, the market does change quickly. So depending, just a few new 4-hour candles, and there might be some opportunities still remaining or created again, right? Ones I don't see right now. But at this point, I think those are about it, those 5 that I see at this point. So wish you good trading. Thanks for joining. We'll be back, of course, hopefully with live webinars next time, not this trading video, but still I hope that this helps you to get some perspective how I look at the markets and so that you have an idea about the analysis that I'm using, at least for my decisions. Wish you a good day as well, and see you all very soon in the next video and next webinar with, of course, FXDD. Cheers.